as you said, 90% of communication is nonverbal. There's something we get by being with people.
So theoretically, technology is here to make our lives easier, but we complain about it all the time. All he wants to do is text for a date. Get off your phone, honey. All we do is complain about it. So how can we make technology better and more efficient in our lives than it is today?
Well, it's a great question, because so much of what we do in terms of communication is through text now. So a lot of what's happening as a consequence of having to read information instead of actually looking at somebody when you're speaking is that you miss all of the subtleties of communication, eye-to-eye contact, and being able to see someone's body expression. And since most of our communication is nonverbal, over 90% of our communication is nonverbal, we're actually not being in close contact with each other in a way that's most beneficial in terms of really good communication. So I think that has become a big problem.
Is there a way? I mean, what do you suggest with your clients if they're, let's say, fighting over text?
I'm like, oh, I just can't believe that somebody would have an extensive conversation. To me, it's like you text, it's like, I'm late, you know, I'm running 5 minutes late. So, I mean, I basically say, please have a conversation please discuss this in person, where you're able to look at them, you're able to see what their body language is telling you, and, have this conversation so you can hear them and hear the tone of their voice, because you don't really know the full meaning of what somebody's saying just through text words.
It leaves a lot for interpretation.
It leaves so much to me, and you really have a big possibility of misinterpreting where someone's coming from. So
happens all the time. People get misunderstood through text and email all the time. There's too much to be misunderstood. But another thing is, we try to engage with people. We'll go out to dinner and we'll sit, and either our teenagers will be sitting there not engaging at the table, or we'll be sitting there. I know I'm guilty. My boyfriend sometimes is like, I wish I was your phone. And I could be engaging in conversation. So, once again, we know when to turn it off when we're with our loved ones, and we have to teach our kids too to turn it off, because they're going to pay the price later and not have quality relationships. I mean, they're going to be able to pick a wife on the computer. I want red hair, I want blue eyes, I want, right? It's just it's not personal anymore.
We have shorter attention span as a result of it. This is due to literal changes in our brain. The brain is something we now know about the brain is neuroplasticity. The brain adapts and it changes. And when the brain is overstimulated, it adapts. And suddenly it depends upon overstimulation and it can't relax. And we have to train our brain to come back to a more centered, relaxed place. And this is very challenging. This is why I wrote this book, Staying Focused in a Hyper World, is that we can't maintain the focus on one thing. We're jumping around here, we're jumping around here. And the key message I'm putting out is we have to stay focused on our values, what's most important. And we're just it's literally like an addiction, and we don't know we're addicted to it because we feel so much pleasure from it. And I'm not against technology, and I'm not against the little notes. I send my wife when I'm here in New York, I send her little notes, I love you. But they're short little things, but I'm going to have conversation when I get home. I'm not going to do it at home. I mean, that would be absurd, and yet we see it happening. Occasionally my clients as well will say, well, this is what he said. And I go through this long dialogue. I said, you didn't have this conversation. She said, he was upstairs, I was downstairs, and they had this whole thing.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
It's amazing. And what I say to them is, after we've discussed it and so forth, I say, now, at least if you're going to put this on here, go back and read this to each other. So you're now sharing those ideas with each other. So
that's a good idea.
We need the energetic interaction with somebody. And as you said, 90% of communication is nonverbal. There's something we get by being with people.
Yeah, I love technology in a way for it to be a vehicle to be love in action. I mean, I really think that is what one of our big purposes in life is, your own spiritual growth and evolvement. So why not use technology to actually be love and have it be the vehicle for your message or your love? So I agree with you or what everybody's saying. You can hold off on the really big juicy things that need to be said in person, but why not go ahead and use it to send a sweet little note, or sexting is really fun, for couples.
It is.
It's really great stuff,
thing.
It really gets you excited and something to look forward to.
Well, that's one benefit of it, sexting, the anticipation of being together later. That starts the passion.
So this has been a great discussion, and I think what we need to help people watching remember is that technology is a tool. It's not a replacement for relationships. It's a tool. And if you want to solve those issues you have with your spouse, don't text them on their way to work.